The software has many functions, but then we'll start with adding products and then we'll move on to the other functions. On how to add products, you can import some of the products or you can add it manually. When you click on Imports, it will open the page for you to import. Just browse the imports file and then you import it. But before that you have to download the template. You click on Download Template File and then
That's how the
template looks like. It has the product name, the unit, the category. You go through the template file and you fill it with product details. You enter product name, then the quantity and all that. You can just fill it and then when you're done you import it. You just click on the Browse file, select the template you filled and then click on Submit. I have now imported the products and this is how it looks like. It now shows the product name, the location, the unit price, the selling price, then the quantity I have in stock. Under Products in the menu we have Categories and then we have a Units. This is where you enter all the categories in the software. The categories and units depends on the products you sell. Any category of products or units can be added to the software. Whatever you sell, you can add its categories and units. Anything you sell will have its own category and unit. You just click on it and start typing the category. You can enter all the categories one by one. You click on Add Category in the menu and then enter the category. It will list them for. And then you can enter the units too. You can sell in boxes, pieces, you can sell in kilograms. Any unit can be used. If you sell cartons, dozens, or packs. Any unit can be used. You can just add all of them here as you see me demonstrate. You can also add variations too. Some products vary by some attributes. A shoe, for example, can have variations. It can vary by size. It can also vary by color. You can define all the variations here and then when you are adding the product that has variations, you just list the variations and then enter the details. Let me try with one product and then you see how it looks like. We have alert quantity, which is the minimum quantity where the software alerts you. Let's say maybe you have 1,000 pieces of your products. Then you want the software to allow you when it gets to like 10, then you know you are running out of stock. And that's what they allow you to use for. You should put them and then here you enter the purchase price. Let me say I bought it for 1,000 Ghana cedis and then I see. And I'm selling it for 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can also add selling price groups. Where it allows you to sell at a retail and a wholesale price. For their retail it is the selling price for the wholesale. Let me enter 4,000 Ghana cedis. And then I'll enter opening stock. The opening stock is the quantity you are starting the software with. Maybe you already have a certain number of the product and stock. You just enter the number here. Let's say we have 50 iPads. I just enter 50 and I see. Now let's say I want to add a product that has variation. I click on Add Product. That's it. It has been added. It's for about 40,000 or 45,000, and I have 50 pieces of it. Now let's say I want to add a product that has variation. I click on Add Product. Then I'll say. And then I click on Shoot. It has. But then this product is a variable product. Upside down to variation. And I'm saying that I want to use the color. Let's say the color. This has been added. The products are added and their details available. Now it's available for you to enter sales. Now I have that. Now I have the other variations and added. And I click on Save and Add Open Store. Here it's to ask me to enter the quantity for each variation. I can see that for the greener that I have, maybe 10. For the white one, I have like 5, and then for the black one, I have maybe 20. And stock. And then I say this. For this. And it has this has been the sum total of the stock. And when I click on it, you click and it pop-ups and gives you all quantities for each product. Then I think for the does agree we have 10 pieces. We have 5 pieces for added. I did that's color white, and then we have 20 pieces for added that's color black. Let me try and make a sale for any of the products. I try with the first product I created. But in this case I selected the retail price and use it for the sale. Let's say maybe a customer comes and they are buying at wholesale. I just have to change the price type to wholesale. And then I look for the products. Now in this case I am using the wholesale price. Then I can sell to the customer using the wholesale price. I click on Collect Payments. And then here I enter how much the customer is paying. And then I finalize the payments. I click on Finalize Payment. You can now see the receipt to print. So now let's go back to the main admin dashboard. When you go to List Products and then you list the products. And it also has a stock report. You can click on the stock report. Then when it opens it too. The current stock for each product. Then you can click on each product to show the product's stock history. Then you can tell what happened to the product. Maybe the initial quantity was still happening. If there was a stock transfer. If there was a purchase. And then if there was a sale. Let's look at one for the iPad. Here it tells you that we had an opening stock of 15. It shows class 15. Then we have a sale which is -1. Now we have a new quantity which is 49. We had added a stock transfer or any other thing you would have shown here. And it will give us the reference number. In case we want to go and search in the list, we can just copy the reference number and then go to sales and then look for it. But I can even just copy it from here. And then I go to sales. I trained with the sale. I can just click on it and then view. And just read the sale. And then this can be an invoice that you can also print. It's telling me that I sold the iPad. It's telling me that the date I sold it. Then you will see the customer I sold it to. And then who sold it? And then the one who made the sale. If it was one of your shopkeepers or cashiers, the name will show there. Here it shows the total price, the amount paid and the total price. And if that's any amount, it will show there. There are some customers that use credit sales. So let me explain that part to me. Let's say we are adding customers. Some of the customers we are adding already owe us amounts of money. I come to add customers. And here to list all the customers that are already added. If you need to add more customers, you just click on the Add Customers. And to open a form for you to fill, you check whether it's an individual or a business. Let's say the customers are individuals. You enter the first name, the last name, and then you add the details. Here there's something like open balance. Let's say maybe this customer you're adding owes. You enter the amount. You can edit that customer and you enter it and then you save it. In this case, we have a customer who owes 50,000 Ghana cedis. Meaning that we made a sale to them in the past and they now owe 50,000 Ghana cedis. And this customer now wants to come and pay what they owe. You just go there and perform that function. It's not that they are buying anything new, but they just coming to settle what they owe. And I've just come to the POS interface. And then I search for that particular customer. Then the amount they owe pops up. Then I go and click here. It will tell you that this customer owes 50,000 Ghana cedis. That means this customer owes 50,000 Ghana cedis. I want to collect their payment to settle the amount they owe. Here they are making payment for it. For example, I will say that out of the 50,000 Ghana cedis they are now paying 30,000 Ghana cedis. Now I've added it. I can go back to the main dashboard to check. But even before I go, it is already showing here. Showing that now is 20,000 Ghana cedis. I'll go back. And then go back to the other side. I want to check. I'll go to the customer information. I click on Actions and Ledger. And here it tells me that they are opening balance of 50,000 and then the total amount of paid is 30,000. Now they have a balance of 30,000 Ghana cedis. Here it tells me when they made the payments. It says the minutes at 12 of June, 226. And then it tells me how much they paid. They paid 30,000 Ghana cedis. And then now the balance is 30,000 Ghana cedis. And it's telling me that it's an advance payment, meaning that they didn't buy anything. But they just came to make payment for what they were owing. It's mostly used for customers that owe you. They've been buying from you. And now you're using the software. You need to keep records of those. You can use the sales and inventory software to keep that record and then be collecting your money. And then also there's another part where a customer comes to pay something. And then they are buying it on credit. Let's go back to the POS interface. This customer can buy anything on credit. So now we want to do an example with one customer. First, let's look for our customer. And then let's say they came to buy a product. For example, a shoe. I chose the black shoe. We collect payments. Now, in collecting the payments, they also bought one on credit. They didn't pay for it. Maybe they paid half. By in this case, let me write them to 0. They bought this one on credit. And then they paid half. So as you can see here, I'm collecting it. And then there's the amount they paid. And there's the amount they were supposed to pay. Anything. They paid 0. Now they have a due amount of 450. I'll just click on it. There's it. And they pay my status. As you can see, I did not pay anything for it. Assuming that this customer has come a day after, or any other day to come and make payment for the credit. I'll just click on Action for and then go to Payments. And now, I'll click Add Payments. And then let's say that the next day they came to pay an amount. Maybe they paid 250 Ghana cedis. Now it shows you that the customer has now come to pay 250 Ghana cedis. And then I left with a balance of 200 Ghana cedis to pay. Now we want to go and check the ledger to see what happened. With this ledger it shows that the opening balance was 50,000 Ghana cedis. And then they have an invoice for 450 Ghana cedis. And then it goes to break down the payments. With the 50,000, we made a cash payment of 60,000 Ghana cedis to clear the initial debt. It is now left to 2,000 Ghana cedis. And now we bought another thing on credit for 450 Ghana cedis. It added it to the balance I was left, which is 20,450 Ghana cedis. And then now they paid the payment of 250 Ghana cedis. Now we have 20,200 Ghana cedis as the current balance left. Now this customer has an initial balance left to clear. And then now they came to do another credit again. Now we want to go and clear what's left in their accounts. And now we'll see that it sets all their things. Then they're going to pay 20,000 Ghana cedis. We'll go back to enter it. Okay. Okay, so now it has changed. The status of the sales has changed to now paid. All payments have been entered. And let's go back and see. Let's check it. It's not reflecting that they don't owe anything anymore. In this way, okay, so I think right now it's showing that they've made the payment. And now they don't have a balance left, meaning that everything has been settled. Okay, so let's say your credit customer has come in. And then they've settled everything. Then you can just use this function to check their payments. I think we did all of it today. It's showing today's dates. But if they had done it on separate days, we would have shown each one. And it tells you the type to be as well. You can tell that it's an opening balance here. The type of transaction is payments here. It's a 0, and then there's payments and then the payment again. And it gives you, well, as a debit or credit. With this, you can keep tracking some of the payments for your customers when they made it and all that. And then come to payments too. And I think here to total give you details about it. To give the reference number and then the amount and all that. And then the dates as well. Both the ones on credit and fully paid. Anytime they want to settle a debt you can enter it under payments. You can also just come to all sales and then you have your details there. There's a filter to where you can just click on the filter. And then you can narrow it down. Let's say I'm looking at multiple business locations, and I want to narrow it down by the desktop location. I can just use the filters to do it. If I want to buy a specific customer, I can just do that. Let's say I just want all sales for quality. I just click on it and to show. But I want all paid or due or partial payments. I just click on it. Those are how I do it. I can just click on it and then to show I can come to date range. And then do it for maybe a month, a year, or any range. Maybe if I want it from within a period, I'll just select the range. And I can select where from which date to which date. And then I can also select the payments methods. We have different payments methods there. There you can use. At the sales tool you can do drafts. Let's say maybe you are a drafts just a sale that hasn't been made. But you can just maybe somebody's buying something and they're not really bothered food. You can just do a draft. But today when they come in, then they are making payment or picking the sale. Then you just make use the draft for them. You can do quotations. And then you can also retain sales. Maybe somebody has come in and maybe they bought something and they are retained. Just click on action. And then sell or return. You open the form. And then let's say that maybe they bought 5 items and they are returning 3. I just enter 5 here. And then 3 here and quantity they are returning to do the deduction. It will credit your stock back and do the deduction. It will have a report there too. That later in the future, if you want to come and check, you can just do that. Once we have done it, click on save and then you save it. Now we go to purchases. Now the opening stock is used only once because that's your opening stock. That's where you are starting the software with. Let's say you've got a new stock and then you want to add it into the software. Or you have to just come to add pages and then click on add pages. Here I just put for this supply. I think I have one supply on this. I just select this supplier. And I select that product that I'm buying from this supplier. Where this I'm buying and it does from this I'm buying that in black one. And I'm buying 1,000 pieces. This is how much I'm supposed to pay. That's how much I'm paying. I'm paying it outright. I don't want to, but so let me try and open it. Let me really try and make it make. There's 20,000 and I'm paying 100,000 for now. I'm paying it. Here I select the pages that I've received. And I select the location where the quantity is going to. In this case it's going to the shop. I just save. Now it is showing that the stock has been received. But previous the sale showing is partial. Partial mean they're paid 100 and then I'm left with a certain amount. Which is 100,000. If I want to make payment for it, I can just click on pay, just like we did for the sales. You can just click on add payments. You just click on pay. It opens and then you can enter the payments. Then see if it's. Now let's go back to the products list. I want to see if the stock has been credited. It should show there. I'll go to list products. I selected the variation. And I shows. Now it's telling me that I had an open list of purchases. I made this one save. And now I have a purchase from my supplier. My supplier gave me a new quantity which is 1000 Ghana cedis. Now the new quantity is 1000 Ghana cedis. And now it's giving me the reference number too. And then it's telling me the supplier. You can give me the items. With this, it tells you at every level what happened to your stock. Whether you had one coming in or whether you had one going out. And you can always print it and put it down and give it to somebody, which I already want to know. For those who have multiple locations, let's say maybe you have a shop in Accra. And you've added all of them and you can do stock transfers. You're moving stock from one location to another. The stock gets deducted from one location. And it gets sent to another location. You can use that. Now for stock adjustment, let's say you maybe one of your items get broken. And you want to keep records of it. You can use stock adjustment. You just click on Ask Stock Adjustments. I then select the location. You select the location and then you select the dates. And then you select the product. You can type one. Maybe one broken or something like that. I just select maybe one. And then outside there is each other. Now if I am adjusting the stock by one. Let's see. For context, just like we added and supplies. Just like we added customers, we have supplies. You can import contacts and you can do customer maybe groups. Special customers. Some people like to group their customers into different types, maybe by location or by a certain discount and office they give to them. You can use that customer group to create those segments, and then you add them. Then we come to users. Here you can create rows. And then we click on it and then you see some other things. You can create, we have a mean cashier. You can create yours. And try adding another line. Maybe we have a shop manager or something. We click on. We have shop manager and then we go through the functions. Then we just select the ones that we want for that particular time. Maybe I want the shop manager to view and edit only products. Add a new stock and then actually go through the functions. I say I want them for purchases. I want them to view and then add edit needs. You select all of those things and then you just see this. Now you can see that I have added a shop manager. Now I can go to users and create a user. That's how I add my employees to this software. What are the people working in the shop? You can just add them. And then, you just click on Add. And then we just select the warehouse manager. And then add this. I can then add a user. And then I select that account. I pay the shop manager right now. I'm making them a shop manager. And then I select the shop. As you know, multiple shops, I just have to select the shop that I want that particular user to have access to. In this case, I wanted to have access to that shop. That's what I was going to say. And then they added details. You can just add it to receive. Now I have another user. And the user can go in and perform functions as I have defined in the most. In the software, we have accounts. Let's say you can come to list accounts, and with this account, you can connect it to every transaction in the software. You can have an income account in a night and a spare account or any other account. Maybe if you have your bank account and stuff, you can put it there. And then it would work like your bank statement. You can deposit. You can transfer funds. And then you can connect it to your transaction. That anytime you are making a transaction, you just select the account. It should go into now. This will help you with your balance sheets, and then you attract your cash flow and then all your other accounting statements. It's in the software. You can enable it, and then once you enable it, you can just go to it and then see what's happening in the accounts. This is an example of the shop accounts. It tells you all the transactions that happened, who was added by the credit and the balances and all that. And here you can come and click on the cash flow, the trial balance, the balance sheets, and to give you that the payments account will give you reports on each account. Here you can use that, and then you can get your account reports. We can come to reports too. Now we have a lot of reports. We have the product reports, your purchase and so on, tax reports, your supply and customer reports, stock reports, attend reports and all that. Sometimes you want different types of reports and all that. You can just use the other side to get any type of report that you want. The activity log to it tells you every activity that happened in the software. All your users will have the activity log here. You just click on that, and it will tell you every function that they performed, the dates they performed and all that. I'm using myself and I will ask an example. Everything I did here, it's writing that I added a contract. I logged in. It's telling you the dates and then the time. It's telling you that I sent an SMS notification. I added the payments. It's giving you the reference number and then some details about the transaction. This you can use it to check what your employees are also doing in the software. Apart from that, we have other functions. We have the HRM. With HRM, you can use it to payroll and then the leaves and all that. You can use that to manage your employees and their payroll. You can generate paid slips. You go through it and then you just set it up for your employees. And then you can use this to manage their attendance, their payroll and their daily life. And then so we also have a CRM in the software where you can manage your needs. You can follow UPS and the software is able to send SMS. You can send a bit SMS and emails to your customer. And you can just send a letter anytime they make a sell or they buy something. You can just send a message. Then you can also use this to send in a message. It just maybe grab some sets and special messages. I want you send it to sets and customers and all that. You can use the CRM for that purpose. Maybe we have a project to manage your needs and use the software to manage some of the projects. We just have to click on New Projects and then you start entering the needs. You have some tasks and all that you can just start doing that. You can have assets management. In case you have some assets in your company, you can use this part to manage the assets in your company. And then there are essentials. It helps with a particular task that you feel like you have to be your members and remind them messages and all that you can do that. And then there's the WooCommerce. With the WooCommerce, you can connect it to a WordPress, maybe short or something. Assuming that you have a website that sells online, you can sync the software to the website. Anything you have or the product you have on the software will appear on the website. And then anytime they make a seal or something, you will do that deduction. It will deduct it from the stock. You can do that and then you have an e-commerce site working and then it will be working. That would be sales and measures of trade. Now we go to tax rates and the settings. That's where we can list all the taxes and then we can group it. I did an example with any tile or but I gave the percentage and then I grouped it into a tax. You can also do that. You can just list all of them here and then if you want to have different groups, you do that. You are entering your products or making it so you can select the type of tax that applies to the seal. And then now let's go to invoice settings. Let's click on default. And then here you can change the designs from the receipts. Currently we are using the classic for normal printers. But if you increase your using a term or the small print test, you can just use the slim or the slim tool. And the tool would work for a term or print test, that's not small print test. But if the normal printer you can just use the classic, the elegant or the details and all those work. And then at the same place you can determine or you can decide what should show on the receipts. If maybe you don't want certain shoots to show on the receipts, you can just uncheck it. If you want something to show on the photo certificate and then here you can show it to be shown. If you don't want anything to show or something how to show you can just select it and then you see. Here you can even upload your logo, the English logo and check if you want it to show on the receipts. Now let's go to business settings. With that business settings you can change certain things. A real transaction edits this, you know, in our system and we have a minimum of 30 days. Where after the 30 days you can't edit the transaction, but you can change it to any days. If you want to do for a year you can just change it to 365, which is for a year. Then you can edit the transaction for that period. So that after that period it will not be it. Now you can make certain changes as well. And you can upload your products and then how you enable maybe product expires or something like that. You want to enable or disable something you can just do that. Now you can send notifications too. So either through email or SMS. That is why you type most of the notification messages. When you make a new sale and enter payment, the customer may receive an SMS of payment. You can set it under settings to do it or you can turn it off. A message like "Thank you for shopping with us." There are many options that you can select as you wish. Any that applies to your business you can use. And the message and then your customers will receive the message. Once you add your phone number to the contact, you get a message on your phone. For products you can print different prints and labels. Here I can decide to print a barcode label. You may not need a barcode label but may need a price label. You can also print it for the product. And stick on your products. You can print it and stick it on the product. You can use a barcode scanner and scan the barcode label, both when selling and when adding products. You can use it to also count stock. And then on the dashboard too, it gives you some alerts and notifications. When you come here to list sales data and you product stock outlets, here it will list all the stock that I experimented with me. And then if there are any pending sales orders to show all of them here. If there are some purchases to you and then some sales they might do to list them.